Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com, here to do your monthly intuitive reading for January 2022. Happy New Year, everyone. We're in a new year and a new energy. So let's put out our intentions and create our dreams into reality. So for this month's monthly intuitive reading, we're going to be using the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha for the main message for everyone. Your special message card, depending on your stone of choice this month, will be coming from the Angels and Ancestors deck by Kyle Gray. So, just a reminder that we are into a new year, and I'm still going to try to get out a special video or two for that new year, but for this month we're going to just focus on the January energies for the most part. So let's go ahead and take a look at our stones of choice for that special message card a little bit later. And the first stone of choice here is rose quartz, and this happens to be a rose quartz heart. The rose quartz is going to be a stone of unconditional love, especially a stone of self-love, unconditionally loving oneself, but also unconditional love of other people. It helps with emotional healing as well as relationship healing. It's a great stone for compassion and peace and calm. Your second stone of choice is ruby zoisite. You can see the ruby here within this zoisite. I think there's a couple of more places here. Down here there's a little spot. So there's little spatterings here of the ruby in the zoisite. So ruby zoisite is a stone of happiness, appreciation, vitality, growth, and abundance. It helps with deep emotional healing. Both that green color and that dark pink color relates to the heart chakra, right? So this helps us to open ourselves up to divine love. And then the last stone of choice here for the month, this one's a little bit different. Not everybody might know about this one. This is called Cherry Blossom Agate. Cherry Blossom Agate. This is associated with both the heart and the sacral chakras. Falling in love, passion, sacred sexuality, as well as manifestation. And it can be used in energy work to dissolve blockages around abundance, love, and creativity. So again, your stones of choice. And we didn't mention that the rose quartz relates to the heart chakra, but I guess I assumed everybody knows that. So all of these stones relate at least to the heart chakra, right? So we've got the rose quartz heart. We've got the ruby zoisite, which is kind of in a wand form. And we've got the cherry blossom agate here. All right, so let's go ahead and start. This is the one little part of this monthly reading where I'm going to talk for a minute about the energy of 2022 as a whole, because we've just entered this new year and we want to know what this new energy is all about. So if we think back to 2021, to get the universal year vibration, we just add the numbers together. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 for last year was a 5 energy, and 5s are a little bit more unstable. They're more about freedom, change, redirection, sudden and unexpected shifts in circumstances. It can be an exciting and adventurous kind of energy where there's new people, new places, new things, networking. 5 sometimes, though, can be a little bit chaotic and full of nervous energy, not being very grounded, and trying to take care of a lot of things at the same time. It's kind of like scattered energy. So now we're into 2022, and to get that universal year vibration for this whole year, for the collective, we're going to add the 2 plus the 0 plus the 2 plus the 2. First of all, we want to notice there's a lot of 2s here, right? It's all 2s except for that 1 0. And the number 2 in numerology relates to relationships, partnerships, balance, equality, harmony, staying on this even keel. So because we're in 2022 and there's all these 2 vibrations, I feel like this is going to be a year that there is a focus on relationships and where our partnerships or relationships are out of balance or not in sync with one another. And this can be romantic relationships, family relationships, friendship relationships, and work relationships as well. Now, when we add all those 2s together, plus the 0, of course, we get a 6 vibration. So this is a universal year for the collective of a 6 vibration, which is different than that 5 that we just came out of. As I said, the 5 sometimes is scattered energy and chaotic energy and a lot of things going on at once. The 6 vibration balances things out a little bit. Just like the number 2, if you think about here's one person and here's the other person, which makes 2 people. It's about balance, right? If you think about the number 6 and the geometric form that relates to the number 6, it would be an upward pointing triangle intersected with a downward pointing triangle to create what we might call a Star of David or a hexagram, or what some people might call Merkaba or Merkaba energy. So this is about as above, so below, and it is a lot about balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And the number 6 numerologically does deal with balancing home and family matters with career and who we are out in the world matters. Typically and traditionally, the number 6 in numerology does deal with home, family, land, property, emotional connections, which is like our family connections. But I often find that when a person is in a personal year vibration, which is a little different than the universal year is for everyone, the collective. The personal year is just for a person, just for the individual. But when a person's in a 6 personal year, I find that oftentimes it is about balancing their inner world, their inner circle of home and family dynamics and the emotional realm, their emotional body, and balancing that with the external, the career path, the life path, the destiny path, dealing with who we are out in the world. So the 6th major arcana in the tarot is the Lover's card. This is the Lover's card in the Syrian Starseed Tarot. And so it's a very beautiful card. I don't know if you can even see there, but there is lovers in there somewhere. I can't even tell myself right now. But we have lots of colors here, right? We've got like the red and the orange and the yellow and the green. It's like all the chakra colors are here. So in this particular rendition of the Lover's card, we're talking about needing to balance within ourselves. We're balancing all of our chakra energies. We're balancing all of our spiritual bodies or energetic bodies, including the physical body, with the emotional, with the mental, and with the spiritual bodies. The Lovers is about balance between 2 people, or between the 2 sides of ourselves. Again, that masculine side and that feminine side, which we all have. Another traditional meaning of the Lover's card in the traditional tarot is choices. It's about choices to be made. So it's not always just about partnerships and relationships, but it's about choices and decisions. Which road do we want to take? Which way do we want to go? And trying to kind of, again, balance or weigh the options, the pros and cons of both possibilities before making the decision. Now, a lot of times the decisions might be regarding partnerships and relationships. We can also, if we think about this being a partnership and relationship card, we're dealing with love, platonic love in friendship or family relationships, more of a romantic and or passionate love when it comes to more romantic connections with other people. So we have romance and we have intimacy and we have sexuality, all wrapped up in this Lover's card. And the sexual energy too doesn't just have to be between you and another person. This can be that creative energy, almost like the creative kundalini energy within oneself, the passion within oneself. This deals with the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is the center of passion and sexuality. And it's not just about romantic relationship passion. It's about feeling a passion within yourself for life and who you are and what you're doing. And then again, moving forward in a balanced way towards making the appropriate decisions that you need to make, or making the appropriate choices that you need to make, since we said this is a card about choices. So this is the vibration of 2022. And again, the fact that it's 2022, there's lots of twos here. I do think there's going to be a lot here about relationships and bringing those relationships in our life, whether they be romantic, platonic, or business, bringing them into a sense of balance, harmony, having that sense of equality, fairness, compromise, justice, within those relationships, which goes back to power. We know that I'm all about empowerment, hence my website name, Sacred Soul Empowerment. And I talk a lot in my Facebook posts about your owning your power and being in your power, or taking back your power. So part of bringing things back into balance in relationships with other people is about you being in your power, feeling empowered. And where there might be disempowerment or just an imbalance of the dynamics within a relationship, this is about you, taking your power back. And that taking of your power back doesn't necessarily mean that it's against another person. Sometimes it doesn't even involve the other person. Sometimes taking your power back so that things become more balanced and fair and empowered for you and the other person is just about you empowering yourself with your own perceptions and belief systems regarding who you are, what you can or cannot accomplish, which I think, right, we can accomplish anything if we put our mind to it. So this is about just really believing in yourself. That's what you owning your power is all about. This is going to make you more confident. This is going to, give you more of a sense of freedom, feeling your courage in life. And this will naturally, or perhaps not naturally, bring things back into power. In other words, what I mean by that is sometimes the other person, subconsciously, unconsciously, or maybe consciously doesn't want you to be empowered, or it's just not a typical or a comfortable energy for the other person. But as you come into your confidence, courage, independence, and own your power, then your relationships are either going to fall away, or they're going to change, or they're going to heal, or you're going to bring in and magnetize new ones into your life. So that's a little bit about 2022. I don't want to take too long on that because we've got to talk about the month of January. So the month of January, if we're in a universal year of a 6, the month of January is a universal month for the collective of a 7, because January is the first month of the year, and we're going to take that universal year number of 6, add it to 1, which is January, and get the number 7. So it's interesting because as we move into this new year, we do have Mars, the planet of energy, action, forward movement. The warrior planet is in fire sign Sagittarius. So there is this wanting desire to get up and go and move forward fast. But that number 7 for January kind of, I don't know if I want to say slows things down or brings in kind of a quiet, self-reflective kind of period of time. So we're going to, talk more about that as we move through some of the astrological highlights for the month. But know that the number 7 for January is much more self-reflective and meditative and contemplative, and it's about going within and really kind of searching out the depths of your soul and doing some internal healing or mental processing. I find that the number 7 numerologically is an emotional number, a mental number, and also a spiritual number. So we have those realms of the emotional, mental, and spiritual that we are going to be dealing with in the month of January. Now, it's not so much a physical number. So it's not about, again, physical manifestation or taking action. It's more about contemplating the steps that you need to take, the next steps that you need to take. It's about looking at details and organizing and making a plan or creating a strategy. but I feel like more of the action might actually start to unfold as we move into the month of February. And it doesn't mean that you can't take any action or make any decisions, but don't be surprised if it's just more of a little bit of a quiet time. You want a little bit more alone time, or you find yourself having more of that energy of going within and being in your own head and trying to figure things out and understand where you came from, where you want to go, what's kind of happening in between. That's what it feels like it's about to me. The seventh major arcana in the tarot is the Chariot card. Now, this does suggest that there's going to be some sort of forward movement. However, the traditional Chariot card usually shows two horses that is pulling that chariot. Usually it's a black horse and a white horse, and the black horse is veering one way and the white horse is veering the other way. And when you have two horses pulling a chariot or a carriage and they're both trying to go in different directions, you're not going to get anywhere too fast, right? And so typically the chariot is about bringing things into kind of this sense of focus and balance, right? In this card, actually, we have 5 horses, so there's a little bit of a different energy here. 2 horses are still veering off in one direction. The 2 horses over here veering off in the opposite direction, but the 5th horse in the middle in this particular chariot card is facing straight ahead. So I'm showing you this one because this is going to suggest that we do have some forward movement. We just have to get these other 4 horses to be on the same page, to kind of shift their perspective and shift their perception and focus straight ahead with where it is that this horse wants to go, or where your inner higher soul self really wants you to go. So this might also suggest, with all these horses going in different directions, that there's aspects of your soul that are still in this kind of confusion phase, or unsure phase, or insecure phase, not knowing which direction to go, what decision to make. There's a part of you that does know with this one horse. There's a part of you, your higher self, your higher spiritual self, that knows this is the route to take. This is the way we got to go. This is what we have to do. These are our goals. This is where you want to end up as we move throughout the weeks and months ahead. So it's just a matter in this month of January of bringing these opposing ways of looking at things, or opposing ways of perceiving things, or the confusion and the chaos, bringing it all back into kind of some semblance of balance, right? Here's that word balance again, and alignment and focus with where it is you want to go next. So I say meditate a lot, have some alone time a lot, contemplate a lot, make a plan, create a list, organize your life, organize the plan on paper, bring some sort of structured mental routine into things in the month of January. And we are actually going to be going into a Mercury retrograde in January. So that's going to be part of it. Venus is also retrograde. So we're going to be talking about some of that here in a moment. But we do have those retrograde planets, especially with Mercury, the planet of the mind, turning retrograde this month, where we need to reassess. We need to review and reassess what's going to happen next, or where we want to go. And maybe what we thought is going to change. And some of that might be because of the other relationships in our lives as they grow, evolve, or change, that maybe your plan grows, evolves, or changes. So I think that we've said all that we can say right now about the Chariot card, but let's go ahead, now that we've gotten that numerology vibration and the tarot vibration kind of out of the way, we're going to look at the highlights astrologically for this month. So on the 1st and 2nd, let's see, where are we at here? This is actually the 2nd. It depends on what part of the world you're in. 1st, 2nd of January. Mercury, that planet of the mind, the planet of the mental realm, is moving out of Capricorn, where it's more practical, goal-oriented, career-minded, ambitious, takes its time to make the plan and makes strategic moves. Well, Mercury is going to be moving into Aquarius at the first of the month. And so that Aquarius energy is more humanitarian, scientific, group-oriented, future-oriented. It's an air sign, so Mercury as an air planet, ruling that mental realm, is going to be very comfortable in Aquarius. Aquarius sometimes can have some very fixed ideas or stubborn perceptions where it doesn't want to budge too much. So the only thing I would say about Mercury going into Aquarius is try to just go with the flow, be a little bit more flexible, and although it's great for focus, we don't want to necessarily be so overly focused that we put ourselves in a box and we're not like looking at other possibilities, because this could be a month of some changes and redirections as we're trying to get our focus as far as where we want to go in 2022. On the 2nd, we have a new moon. And the new moon, which is about new beginnings, it's not an eclipse. We're past the eclipses, right? Although the eclipses are still having an effect on us. But this new moon is at 12 degrees of Capricorn. So we have new beginnings as far as our owning our own inner authority, because Capricorn is a sign of authority. It's a sign also that rules our career path, our life path, our destiny path, who we are out in the world. But again, it rules authority figures, and our own inner sense of authority. So this is a new beginning with maybe having a clearer picture of your goals and ambitions, especially when it comes to career and business, and taking some next new steps to move towards what it is that you want to accomplish here. And then the next thing of importance here is going to be on the 14th of January. On the 14th of January, Mercury turns retrograde at 10 degrees of Aquarius. So it's gone from 0 degrees Aquarius at the beginning of the month all the way up to 10 degrees of Aquarius. Now it's stopping, it's stationing as we call it, and turning retrograde. So, even in the shadow side, those first 2 weeks of the month, of the shadow period before Mercury officially turns retrograde, we're already going to be feeling it as we enter the new year of 2022, where things can go a little bit haywire, missed communication, missed travel plans, or missed meetings, or we forget an appointment, or somebody else forgets their appointment with us, or whatever it might be. And especially with Mercury retrograding in Aquarius, Aquarius rules electronics, electricity, electronics, scientific advances. But because it rules electronics, we're going to probably, more than some Mercury retrogrades, see more mishaps with cell phones and computers and tablets and anything that's electrical. Even our cars, have electrical chips in them. So anything that deals with electricity or technology, we might see some challenges with. And just to kind of give you a little bit of an idea, Mercury is going to end up retrograding back into Capricorn at some point. Actually, later this month, it retrogrades back into Capricorn. It's going to go all the way back to 24 degrees of Capricorn before it turns back to direct motion. And that turning back to direct motion is going to happen at some point in February, which we'll talk about next month. On the 17th of January, we have a full moon at 27 degrees of Cancer. So this means the sun is in Capricorn, which is the opposite sign of Cancer. The moon is in Cancer, 27 degrees of Cancer. And that is a pretty emotional place for a full moon, right? Full moons, our emotions are more easily triggered. We feel more emotional. We also feel more intuitive and psychic and empathic. And as this full moon is in its home sign, she's in her home sign of Cancer, it's going to be even more empathic, even more emotionally sensitive. And this one's opposing Pluto. This full moon is opposing Pluto, which is in Capricorn. And so there's a huge potential for some death and rebirth energies, transformation, power, empowerment, disempowerment energies to kind of transpire around that full moon time. On the 18th, the next day after the full moon, Uranus, the Great Awakener, turns back to direct motion at 10 degrees of Taurus. Now, as Uranus is slowing down, I'd say about a week prior to the 18th, we're going to start to feel some of Uranus's energies magnify. Now, Uranus also rules electricity and technology. It rules scientific breakthroughs. It rules freedom and liberation, okay? So whether it's personal about feeling more free and liberated and independent, or whether this is more on a collective level where we start to see things with technology or scientific advances or electrical mishaps. This can even be about storms. A lot of times Uranus rules lightning storms, windstorms, thunderstorms, things of that nature. So I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in the world there's some of those cropping up as well. Okay. So it's the strange and unusual, right? Uranus rules the unexpected. Expect the unexpected, or the strange and unusual, or the shocking when it comes to Uranus. So as we lead up to the 18th, about a week before and maybe even a couple of days after, we're going to maybe see some of that. Also on the 18th, the North Node is transitioning away from Gemini and into Taurus. Now the nodes, the North Node and the South Node, is about the future and the past. The South Node, which is exactly opposite the North Node, the South Node is about the past gifts, energies that we're comfortable with. The North Node is the future, where we're going, the uncharted territory. And whenever the nodes make a shift from a pair of signs into a new pair of signs, there's a major shift in the themes out there in the world. And for the past 18 months or so, the nodes have been in Sagittarius and Gemini, which are information signs. Gemini rules thoughts, ideas, communication. Sagittarius rules higher learning, higher perceptions, the big picture, our belief systems. So there was a lot there focused on our everyday thoughts, where we want to go as far as the big picture of our life. How do we expand our perceptions, our way of seeing things and believing about things? Now this North Node is going to be transitioning back into Taurus because the nodes move backwards. So instead of moving into the 0 degree of a sign like planets do, the nodes will move from 0 degrees of Gemini and Sagittarius to 29 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. The South Node moving into Scorpio, which is that energy of empowerment, power and control, transformation, regeneration, death and rebirth. Scorpio also rules other people's money, other people's finances, other people's values. Taurus, where the North Node is going to be entering on the 18th, is about the person's money, like it's my money, my values, my resources, my efforts, my putting hard work and effort towards something. So now for the next 18 months, we're probably going to see themes that revolve around our monetary system, and our resources, the Earth's resources, because Taurus is an Earth sign, and our resources that we might share or utilize from other countries, and on a personal level, our resources that we utilize from other people, time, effort, and money. Resources can come in all sort of forms, not just money and finances, but we're going to see themes around that. And because Taurus and Scorpio are fixed signs in the zodiac, it means the energy is much more stubborn, where people kind of get stuck in a way of doing something here, believing about something, perceiving something, and it's much more difficult to kind of move them out of that fixed perception or fixed idea. Whereas Gemini and Sagittarius, where the nodes have just been for the last 18 or so months, was mutable, changeable. So we were much more able to kind of open our minds up to other possibilities, let's say. Okay, so we'll see how that unfolds. And then on the 19th, the sun moves out of Capricorn and into the sign Aquarius. So it joins Mercury, at least for a short time, until Mercury retrogrades back into Capricorn. So now we have two planets in that humanitarian, future-oriented, how do we serve the world and serve the collective How do we do the best for the group, or connect with groups? That's where the sun is moving for the next month. And then the next thing we have here is that Mars is changing signs. Mars, the warrior, is moving out of Sagittarius, fiery, inspirational Sagittarius, and Mars will be moving into Capricorn, much more logical, grounded, practical. Mars likes to move forward, and it's going to slow down his movement a little bit after the 24th when he moves into Earth sign Capricorn, but it's going to be much more, I don't know if I want to say focus. That might be an okay word to use, but because Sagittarius was a mutable, changeable sign, he wasn't always the best at being focused and organized with his energies. Now he's got a plan. Now he's got a direction to go in, and he's going to take things step by step and be much more organized, thought-provoking, practical, assessing each step along the way and moving towards manifestation of whatever it is that his goals are while he's in Capricorn, which is going to be for a few weeks, until March 6th, actually. Mars is going to be in Capricorn. So very focused. Mars is going to be very focused on career plans, business ideas, business projects, and really putting his energies and efforts into that. On the 25th, the next day after Mars moves into Capricorn, Mercury retrogrades back into Capricorn, right, in his retrograde motion. So he's going to spend a few days here in Capricorn with Mars before turning back to direct motion next month. Then on the 29th, Venus, planet of love, relationships, values, resources, including money and finances, turns back to direct motion at 11 degrees of Capricorn. Okay. So things can be a little bit more settled, or decisions can be made when it comes to partnerships, relationships, finances, money, business projects, and things of that nature. Things can start to, not that they haven't moved forward during her retrograde period, but now they can become clearer and more productive, I guess is a good word to say. Then we end the month on January 31st with a new moon. Depending on where you are in the world, this might actually move us into the 1st of February, but I wanted to include it. We have on the 31st of January or the 1st of February a new moon at 12 degrees of Aquarius. So now there's new beginnings in that realm of the humanitarian, or working with groups of like-minded people to better humanity, or to reach our hopes, dreams, wishes, and goals. All right, so that's a little bit about the astrology. Let's go ahead and take a look at what our angels and guides have to say for the collective, what the message is for the collective. So I already meditated, and as usual, cards were falling out. So we've got 3 cards with messages here. And the first card, if we turn that over, is the Sage of Chalices. Sage of Chalices. Now the Sage in this deck is the Queen. Okay, so we have the Queen of Cups, essentially. And it's not surprising, since, remember, the year 2022, the universal year number is a 6, which is the Lover's card for the whole year. So we start out the energy of January here with the Queen of Cups, focused on emotions, focused on our feelings, focused on our sensitivities, focused on our intuition. Now, this can be about a person in your life, a mature woman who's come in and maybe helping you or guiding you. Maybe she's a teacher for you. Or this can be an aspect of yourself where you're needing to get more in touch with that emotional, sensitive, empathic kind of nature, the intuitive, psychic nature within yourself. Now the Queen is pretty mature, so she's got a handle. This is like getting a handle on your emotions, a handle on your feelings, and utilizing that mothering, nurturing, and I'll say even counseling kind of quality here. So in this month, you might be that listening ear for someone else. Maybe you're playing the counselor or the teacher or the guide for someone else. Maybe you find that your intuitions are growing stronger, or that your emotional sensitivity, your empathic ability is getting stronger and more intense. She's got a cup in her hand. She's in the water. She's got some waterfalls behind her. There's a lot of water here. So a lot dealing with the emotional realm and our emotional connections with other people. You know, she's strongly connected to those that she loves. So there's a focus here on her relationships, her emotional ties. This could be business, but emotional ties to me are more like friendship, family, and romantic relationships. So there's a big focus here for her on how she's feeling, and maybe wanting to talk about her emotions. Maybe there needs to be conversation about feelings in a relationship and what's going on to kind of move through that and bring healing to that in this month of January. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second card and see what that has to say. The second card, okay, we have another court card here. It's the Adept of Flames. The adept in this deck is the Knight. The flames, of course, is wands or rods. So essentially, we have the Knight of Fire, the Knight of Flames, the Knight of Rods, the Knight of Wands. And the Knight is a masculine energy, of course. And usually the Knights, especially the Knight of Flames, usually is a little bit more sporadic. You know, again, you have the fire element, and fire is unpredictable. The flames are unpredictable. The Knight energy being less mature than the Queen or the King, but a little bit more mature than the Page is. But the Knight still is that kind of young adolescent sort of energy. And in the flame suit, it's usually, again, triggering. Like, in other words, knee-jerk reaction, make quick decisions, move forward fast. But when I look at this card, it doesn't look like that to me, right? Remember how I said Mars is in Sagittarius for the first part of this month. And so typically the Knight of Flames or the Adept of Flames would signify that Mars, warrior, masculine energy, archetypal energy in that fire, inspirational, passionate fire sign of Sagittarius. But he looks like he's standing still, like he looks very calm. He looks very self-reflective. He's even got a candle lit behind him, which, you know, might be significant to, you know, being in meditation or being in silence or being in self-reflection about something. There's a calmness about this card, which is unusual for the Knight of Flames. He's also got right below his breastbone here, yellow. Now, the heart chakra would be more up here. The yellow is the solar plexus chakra, right? And it's even got a yellow, golden yellow candle here. So we're talking about our willpower, our confidence, our courage, our leadership ability. All of those energies of the solar plexus chakra are highlighted here. But it's almost like he's got a little bit more control over them, or he's a little bit, rather than knee-jerk reacting and making too hasty of a decision or movement, he looks like he's kind of thinking about things a little bit first. He feels that confidence, he feels that willpower. He wants to take charge or take control of his life in some way, which is good, right? We want to empower ourselves. This is about you owning your power. But he's going to be much more grounded about it, I guess. He's even got like a purple cloak on, and the purple would signify, you know, like crown chakra, connected to his spiritual essence, connected to his spirituality, connected to his higher intuition, his psychic ability. So it's almost like he's taking that raw energy and he's merging it with this more spiritual and self-reflective and inner knowing sort of energy. Which is kind of like that number 7, that 7 vibration for the month of January is very much like that. So it's interesting to see this. Now, this gives us a second court card, right? We start with the Sage or Queen of Cups, Sage of Chalices, Queen of Cups. Now we have the Adept of Flames or the Knight of Wands. So this could either, again, be an aspect of ourselves that we need to embody, or this is suggesting that other people are going to be playing a role here in our lives. Maybe we're going to be surrounded by other people in relationships that have these qualities, that we're working out something. The Queen here is a little bit more mature than the Knight, although the Knight in this particular picture seems quite mature himself. So this could be, again, about relationship matters. Women, man, relationship, and sharing of emotions, owning one's power in the relationship, having a sense of inner confidence, but also being vulnerable at the same time. So that's what these two cards to me also seem to indicate. I feel like we can have some sort of illuminated aha moment. When I see the candle, I think about an illuminated epiphany of some sort, especially if we quiet our mind and we go within ourselves and again become that spiritual seeker, so to speak. We want to retain our strength, but we also want to merge it with our spirituality, our spiritual intuition, our emotions. And that's going to be the best recipe for figuring out whatever, idea, perception, new path, new decision, whatever's to be illuminated can come a lot better if we merge all those qualities together. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the last card, the third card here, before we get to the special message cards. And the third card, okay, so we have a Major Arcana. This is Major Arcana 2 with higher self in this deck. Now, traditionally, this is the Priestess card, right? The Priestess card, which is like getting in touch with your higher self, basically. The Priestess has a lot of magical powers. She is the empowered feminine. She's the magical feminine, the strong feminine. She's kind of balanced in her, to me, in her masculine and feminine. To me, she's more balanced because she's got that strength and that power and that fortitude, but she's got the gifts of higher intuition and empathic abilities, and even that divine feminine of nurturing. But this is a time, a month, to get in touch with your higher spiritual self. And we can see here that this woman, this priestess, she's got the moon behind her. So this might be indicating that the full moon that we have coming up in Cancer is going to be a particularly important time for us to get in touch with our emotions, our psychic intuitions, our healing abilities, which full moons would do anyway. But like I said, this full moon is in her home sign of Cancer. She is also holding a book, if you can see that there. She's holding the book of life, or the Akashic records. She's in touch with her Akashic records here. And especially, again, maybe it's around the full moon where you have some sort of increased intuitive capabilities to get in touch with some past life vision, past life karmic situation. Maybe you have a full recollection of a past life in general, but this to me is some sort of past life gift, talent, ability, or perception. Something is made aware to you in or around the full moon, or in this month of January, where you're able to connect with the truth of who you are, the truth of who you have been, and are able to, as you connect with your own Akashic records, come upon some sort of, again, going back to this card, some sort of illuminated epiphany, maybe some aha moment, something that helps to put things together, maybe something that helps you to own your power again, or take back your power, something that really assists you in the leap of your evolution, or I don't know, it feels really magical to me. It feels magical, it feels deep, it feels mysterious, mystical. So I feel like this whole month can embody that priestess energy. She's got the universe behind her with that full moon. There's some various colors here involved with that universe, that cosmos, sky here. And again, she's standing in the still waters. So, you know, there's not an emotional storm going on here, but she's in the stillness. She's in the silence. She's connected to some sort of truth that goes back through time and space here. And whatever that truth is, whatever that epiphany is all about, it really aids her in owning a piece of herself that's magical and mystical and mysterious in and of itself, and also very powerful. So that's the message for the month of January. Let's go ahead and see what your special message card is depending on your stone of choice. So again, got the rose quartz. And see which one draws your attention, you know. I mean, yes, we had the descriptions of these, but you also want to pay attention to just what, when you see them, what draws you. We've got the ruby zoisite. And we've got the cherry blossom agate. Okay. So for those of you that chose the rose quartz heart, okay, we're gonna give this a little shuffle. I'm gonna close my eyes for a moment. I'm gonna take a deep breath, get out of my head for a minute. Rose quartz, special message for the rose quartz people. Well, I open my eyes and I have to have something jump out at me. I have to have something be highlighted in my third eye here. Okay, this one is jumping out. So rose quartz people, how appropriate, right? It's a rose quartz heart. The universal year is the Lover's card, and we've got the heart guardian. Heart guardian. And it says, love and let yourself be loved. Well, that's really a message for the Lover's card for the year 2022 as well, right? Open up the heart chakra to love, be love, emanate love, and attract love. And that's kind of what this card is saying too. Now she's dressed in red, which is a very passionate, kind of sexual, energetic sort of sign. Of course, she's got heart chakra kind of medallion here to where her heart chakra can really open. So this isn't just about opening up to platonic love. It's not even just about opening up to unconditional love, but that's part of it, right? We all want to open up to that unconditional love from the universe and from other people. But this is too opening up to passion. I feel like passion. So whether this is a passionate love between you and another, or a passion within yourself to where you're really, like just really down to the core of your being, you love yourself, you respect yourself, you feel that passion within yourself about who you are and what you're doing and the sacredness of your soul. That's what it feels like to me here. You really want to open up to that passion, that love of yourself for other people, for the collective. You know, just open up and let your heart chakra burst open. So that is what your message is. As we, it almost looks like a rose here too. It's like her cape is sort of in this, you know, kind of bunched up or whatever, but it looks like a rose. So the rose might have a special spiritual or metaphysical meaning for you as well. Some of you, maybe you'll have a sign where you'll see a rose or get a rose. You know, whether you're given a rose or whether, you know, maybe you see it somewhere that's significant to you, like you're thinking about something or you're wondering about something regarding your life, and then you get that sign of this kind of rose. And whether it's a red rose, you might want to pay attention to the color. Maybe it's a different colored rose, but whatever that color is also significant. But you might also just want to look up rose and what's the significance, what's the spiritual meaning of the flower rose. Okay, love and let yourself be loved. That's the main message, everyone. All right, so those of you that chose the ruby zoisite people. Ruby zoisite. Okay, this one keeps calling my attention right here in the middle. Magic Guardian. I love that. First one was the Heart Guardian. Now we have the Magic Guardian. And it says, unlock the magic within. That has more of that priestess kind of feel to me, right? So we've got this beautiful goddess, this beautiful woman with golden angel wings, right? The golden yellow of the solar plexus chakra, your center of personal power, owning your magic, owning your truth. She looks very confident, self-assured. She's really in her courage and her leadership and her authority, take charge, but in a good way. She's holding something in her hands. It's like some sort of a cup, and it does have a little flame in it. So it's like light the fire within yourself. Light the fire within yourself and let the magic unfold. Let the magic within your soul unfold. Let yourself use your magical gifts, talents, and abilities and spread your wings out into the world. Spread your wings with confidence and self-assuredness. Be the leader. She even has a heart here too, right? She's got this kind of red here in her dress and the heart here at her heart chakra. So part of the magic is through the opening of the heart chakra. Okay, once you open that heart chakra to unconditional love, your healing abilities are highlighted, your magical abilities are highlighted, your manifestation abilities are highlighted. So all of that magic within you can kind of unfold with this Magic Guardian. All right, everybody, let's see what the cherry blossom people, what message you have. Cherry blossom agate. You know, this one's calling my attention here. Ooh, we got the sage. So we have the sage, devoted, be devoted and committed. So we're in a time period with the Capricorn energies. We're transitioning, soon into Aquarius, and some of the planets this month go into Aquarius, but we're still in some Capricorn energy too. Capricorn to me is very devoted and committed to their path, to their goals, to their ambitions, what they want to accomplish. It's an earth sign, and the sage is out here next to a tree, feeling very grounded, connecting with the earth mother, connecting with nature. This is part of it too, I think, is getting out into nature and connecting with your inner higher soul self through nature, through the animal kingdom, through walking barefoot on the ground, or just, sitting next to a tree, touching a tree, talking to the leaves, talking to the breeze, whatever it might be here. This is saying that, some of you, I feel like maybe you're wavering on your path a little bit. Maybe you're unsure about something, or maybe you have something that you have wanted to accomplish, or maybe you've even been working on it somewhat on and off, but maybe you're not completely focused to get it done, or have that, again, that being devoted to what your path is, being devoted to yourself and your truth and what you're here to do. Maybe you have some insecurities. Maybe somehow you're just lacking that groundedness to be able to take the next steps. I feel like you need to work with the earth. There needs to be, whether it's needing more focus, needing more groundedness, needing more commitment, whether I feel like it's more like work, life path, career path, project sort of commitment. It can be relationship stuff, but I don't know that it's as much that for you. Some of you it may be. But I feel like you need to kind of work with the earth element. So whether it's walking out in nature, hugging a tree, doing some sort of creative project with like gardening, or making something like picking sage or picking herbs, something where you're working with the earth and the earth element. I feel like that's going to help to bring in a sense of an energy focus for you, so that you are more grounded and committed and devoted to what it is that your path is. This sage is writing something down. So maybe he's expressing his thoughts. Maybe there needs to be an expression of thoughts in order to become more devoted and committed. Maybe he's writing out a plan. Maybe he's organizing his thoughts, especially as we move into 2022, right? We put out our intentions. Maybe we need to write down our intentions and then speak them out loud. This will help us to organize our thoughts and become, it almost allows us to become more committed towards what our goals are as we move forward. He's very wise. You know, this is the wise old sage, very connected to the inner wisdom within his soul and with the wisdom and knowledge of the universe as well. So there's a need for meditation or self-contemplation, again, maybe out in nature if you can. That's going to help you to become more committed and devoted to whatever your plans are, whatever your goals are. Okay, everyone, I hope you've all liked this monthly intuitive reading. I know it's been a little bit longer than some of my other monthlies, but we did talk about the energy of 2022 just a little bit first. So sending you all lots of love and light, and I hope that all of your dreams and intentions in 2022 come true, that you're blessed with so much abundance and prosperity in all aspects of your life. And I will see you in the weekly reading or in the next monthly reading. So sending you all lots of love, light, and blessings. Everyone, namaste.